So, you want to know how to avoid this? It's really simple. And we've been telling you guys this for ages now, for Dragon ages now. If you want to prevent people from being laid off, just make better games. You see, when you make games, that game makes money. When you make money, you can afford to not only make new games, but you can afford to pay your staff. When your money isn't coming in, meaning you're not making any money from those games, then you have to cut costs. That's when you end up having to lay people off. So instead of being so determined to add in all this modern political bullcrap that you lot seem to be so determined to fit in, or making diverse characters that aren't actually diverse, they're just like black and like their whole personality is them being black. Instead of giving them a real personality, nope, just they're black. Well, what's their character? What do you mean they're black? What else do you want? So instead of that, how about you give us good stories, engaging characters that we can relate to, good gameplay that doesn't feel like a mobile game, and the money will basically print itself. Anyway, former BioWare executive producer Mark Darrah claiming that celebrating layoffs crosses a line into being cruel. And here's the funny thing with these people. These are the same people that will sit there and applaud people losing their jobs simply because they made a slightly raunchy joke online. A joke that hurt their feelings. And these people will celebrate that person losing their job. So, just throwing that out there. Anyway, former BioWare executive producer Mark Darrah claimed that if you celebrate layoffs, you cross a line into being cruel. Again, they celebrate people when they're being canceled for, oh no, they made a racist joke 10 fucking years ago. They will celebrate someone losing their job because of that. These people deserve no fucking sympathy anymore. We played by your stupid little games. You had your rules for a while. We're not playing by your rules anymore. We're done trying to care, trying to help. If you guys get laid off, you get laid off. Learn how to make better games. Stop forcing your ideological bullshit into games when you know for a fact in recent years that it's been going downhill. Whenever you try to add things like that into the game, or a movie, or a TV show, or into a comic, it's going to go downhill real fast. And instead of you people learning from that, you just continue to do the same thing. It's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. Yeah, you can do it as many times as you want. You're always going to get the same result. People are tired of the modern politics in video games. Video games are meant to be an escape from the modern world, from current day, from the real world. We don't want to go from the real world being told that we're evil because we're white and jump into a game and then be told that we're evil because we're fucking white. So, we're done playing their stupid little games. In a recent video upload, Darrah began by making the just point that just because you purchase a game, it does not give you the right to be cruel. I mean, if we're talking about death threats, yeah. If you're on the left and you do that, you're a fucking asshole. You're not an asshole, you're a fucking loser. If you're on the right and you do that, you're a fucking loser. If you're in the middle and you do that, you're a fucking loser. Any death threats of any kind because you don't like someone, you're a fucking loser. Okay? So, if they're not death threats and they just mean opinions that they don't like, that's the freedom of speech. That's the freedom of speech. We're going to buy games, we're going to play those games, and we're going to tell you what we feel about those games. If we play a game, we purchase a game for $80 freaking dollars and it's a subpar, mediocre pile of slop, we're going to let you know. and we're going to let you know why it's a mediocre pile of slop. If you don't want to hear it, that's not our problem. If the character's being written terribly and their entire character is based around how they identify, if you don't want to accept that that's a terrible way to write a character, that's not our fucking problem. That's a you problem because you're not open to that criticism. Instead of learning and just knowing, oh, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. Maybe those types of characters don't relate to people, or those people don't relate to that kind of character and don't really hit a chord with anyone. No, no. Let's just, hey, we're going to make a character. They're going to be trans. Well, what's their personality going to be like? What are you talking about? They're trans. You know, we're tired of those characters. So constructive criticism or feedback is not people being cruel. Grow the fuck up. I'm not saying that you have to like the thing you bought. I'm not saying that you aren't allowed to complain about the thing you bought. You can have whatever opinion you like towards a game, even if that opinion is stupid and wrong. You are entitled to that. And to some degree, you're entitled to express that to the corporation of the video opinion to the corporation, to the video game studio that created this game that you bought. But you cross a line. Are you going to talk about what you mean by cruel? You shouldn't be cruel at all. It's a video game. You don't need to go out of your way to cause harm to other people because of a video game you don't like. When you climb into someone's personal social media and start active. Again, these are the same people who will celebrate someone getting laid off of their job and being blacklisted because of a racist joke they made 10 years ago. So, you guys don't exactly have any room to talk here. Actively attacking that person when you celebrate layoffs at a studio because the game that you had, a game you didn't like, didn't do that well. Yeah, basically saying things they don't like. This is what being cruel is to them. And fundamentally, you should have more grace for other human beings. Yeah, right. Again, you guys had your game with your stupid little rules for a while. Yeah, we don't have to deal with those rules anymore. Doesn't work like that now. Because people are tired of your bull crap. While Darrah's comments about not being cruel are true, his examples of celebrating layoffs being cruelty is simply not true, albeit there is a significant nuance. St. Thomas Aquinas addresses this in the summer. Oh my god, we're not gonna. A thing may be a matter of rejoicing in two ways. First, directly, when one rejoices in the thing as such, and thus the saints will not rejoice in the punishment of the wicked. Secondly, indirectly by reason, namely, of something annexed to it. And this way, the saints will rejoice in the punishment of the wicked by considering therein the order of divine justice and their own deliverance. I feel like I should be doing like some kind of preacher, you know, hater pop off. Which will fill them with joy, and thus the divine justice and their own deliverance will be the direct cause of the joy of the blessed, while the punishments of the damned will cause it indirectly. Elaborates is not praiseworthy. Okay. In layman's terms, one does not rejoice at the pain affiliated by those being laid off, but the fact that the layoffs are happening, given the ones being laid off were promoting disordered, and in some cases, objectives evils, such as transgender ideology with Dragon Age to Felguard. While Darrah is incorrect about celebrating layoffs being cruel, his call to not be cruel should be heeded. And again, more religious. Again, we're pretty much done playing by. Like I say, I feel bad for the people who just went there and did their jobs, because there are people who just went there and just probably tried to speak up about the crap, but it's like, oh yeah, well, that's totally cool. You don't have to put it in the game, but you may not have a job tomorrow. Kind of that sort of thing. I feel bad for the people who lose their jobs and they just wanted to make a good game. I don't feel bad for the higher ups, the ones pushing the bullcrap, the ones who clearly see the numbers are going down, clearly see that the games are not selling. They know why the games aren't selling. And instead of just accepting it, they continue to want to just, oh, stick it to the chuds. And what do? They just keep making games, each worse than the last. And then you have more and more layoffs. Ubisoft, you have like, 50 people over the summer. And then not too long ago, you had another 100 people. Like, how many more people do you have to lay off before you realize that the formula you're using to make games right now isn't working? How long before you realize that maybe there is no modern audience? Maybe people just want good games with good written stories, with rich, engaging characters that they can relate to. If they're black, great. If they're trans, great. But make them more than just gay or trans or whatever. We don't need a character whose entire shtick is, oh, look at me, I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm this. We don't want that. We want them to feel relatable, like a normal person. So maybe just make good games. It's not that hard. You make good games, you make money. You make money, you can afford to pay your staff. You make bad games, you don't make money. When you don't make money, you can't afford to pay your people. When you can't afford to pay your people, then you have to start laying people off. I mean, it's common sense. It's basic crap here. And yet these companies don't want to learn from it. So you don't want to learn, and you want to keep going down that path of making shit games because you want to stick it to the chuds, and go ahead. Keep laying people off. Soon enough, all these companies will eventually go out of business because they're not going to have any more money left. Because no one's going to want to keep, investors are not going to want to invest in them because they're not making any money. No one's going to want to fund them because it's like, okay, well, you're not turning over profit. So why would I trust you with my money? So, but sure, just keep doing what you're doing. Game companies like BioWare and EA and Activision and Bethesda and, all those. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure laying off people will eventually stop. But yeah, to say that it's cruel, it's not cruel. And for this person to come out and be like, "Oh, well, it's saying this is it's mean and saying mean things." Again, you are the people who celebrate others being canceled and fired from their job for a racist joke they made 10 years ago, and not even a real racist joke. It's like someone laughed at a racist joke or something like that, and you people cancel that person over it. So you lot are in no position to talk at all. But anyway, BioWare. BioWare. Not exactly doing great, is it? Especially after Dragon Age the Failed Guard. They've got one last chance here with the next Mass Effect, and no one's confident about that. No one is confident. So, you don't want to lay people off. You don't want to worry about people being mean about it. Make better games. Simple as that. It's not a hard formula. A fucking 5-year-old could figure this shit out. Okay? Here you are, people in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you haven't figured this out yet. So much for the college educated individuals. Am I right? But anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.